I've been troubled by this cell phone deal for the past couple of months here. I had a cell. What?
Basically, you had a cell phone.
I had a sidekick that broke. They break because basically they're a full-featured phone that's made for like 9-year-old Japanese girls. Everything's got an animation and a sound, and they cost $1.75 to make probably, and they charge you $300 for them. They're built so shitty. I had one break on me. Sent it in. They sent me a refurb. The refurb had the exact same problem mine did.
Excuse me, they sent you a what?
A refurb.
Speak English.
Basically, it's under warranty, but they don't give you a new one. They give you a factory refurb, which is basically the one that I just sent to them, but somebody else sent theirs. Mine breaks. I send it in. They fix it. They repackage it and send it to some other poor fucker and send him my shitty phone with my, earwax and spit mouth and whatever the fuck. I mean, they clean him or whatever, but like...
Bubonic plague.
Basically, yes. My bubonic plague, which suffered the same fucked up symptoms that my other one did, that one was broken. I send that one in, they send me another one, and that one I put on the roof of my car as I'm like loading Whole Foods groceries in. I drive away and it like vanishes into the ether, like never to be seen again. So...
Damn you fucking people.
So then I walk in to go buy another one because I was just like, fuck it, I'll just buy a new one. And they're like, oh, we're not stocking them. Why not? Well, because the Sidekick 3s are coming out in like 2 months. But 2 months is actually June or July now. And I've been kind of holding my breath thinking they were going to come out. Finally, my good friend Sal happens to have a free one. A spare one lying around. He's like, just come and pick it up. No big deal. After like a month and a half of me not having a phone and all my friends hating me. I go and get that. I go and activate that phone, get it all set up. It's fucked up. It gets knocked off the server every 5 minutes. I have reception for probably 30 seconds at a time.
Motherfuckers.
It's the worst. So I go in today, and I'm like, can you guys fix this phone? I go into the T-Mobile store. It's one that I've been in a few times. They kind of know me there, whatever.
Was CCJ there?
No. Who's that? No, she wasn't. Sorry. And so I'm talking to the guy, and I was like, hey, can you get this thing to work? And then I start looking at the other phones, because I'm like, I'm going to have to buy another fucking phone, and I won't buy another Sidekick. And I was like, do you guys have the new BlackBerries in? Motorola settled their case. They've come out with a new BlackBerry. It's color, it's Bluetooth, it's speakerphone, it's bullshit. He's like, yeah. And I said, do you have a working model of it? And he goes, well, the only working model is the guy who works here has one, blah-bitty blue. He's an Asian gentleman. I can't remember his name. Let's call him...
Was he wearing a mask?
He's not wearing a mask. What should we call him? Because I don't remember his name. What do you want to call him so I can reference him as by name in the story?
If you call him Ching Chong, I'll slap your face.
Ching Chong Chinaman, I was thinking.
I'll slap your face.
Chinatown? Maybe we'll just call him that. So, is behind the counter dealing with a customer. My guy was like... I said, do you think I could see his phone? He's like, oh, yeah, we'll totally let you borrow it. So he walks over and he's like, hey, this guy wants to see your BlackBerry. So Asian takes it out, hands it to me. The guy brings it over to me. I start playing with it, and I'm looking at it. Finishes with his customer, walks over to me, and I go, hey, I'm just going to call your folks really quick. And he's like, what? And I said, I'm just going to call your folks really quick. And is like, what? And I said, your parents. I'm just going to call your parents really quick. I hope you don't mind. As a joke, I'm just saying, like, I'm playing with his phone. Like, hey, I'm just going to call your parents really quick. And he's like, oh, like, okay, yeah. And he, like, acts all awkward and kind of looks miffed. And I don't really understand what happens. He turns and he just turns on his toe and he walks straight out of the front doors of the store. And the whole place is kind of like, and I look at my guy and he goes, is an orphan.
I was just going to say, like, again, Jonathan making apologies, which will be this week and next week. His parents are dead.
But he says, is an orphan. And I say, what? And he goes, is an orphan. And I said it, and I think in my head, the first thing comes out of my mouth when he says it's instantaneous. I go, how much can your dad bench press? Which is a valve in my brain, because do you understand that reference? He says it to me, blah, blah, blah's dad, dad is an orphan. And I go, how much can your dad bench press? Because when I walked into my new school in 3rd grade, I met some kid, and some kid walked up to me and was like, hey, go ask that guy how much his dad can bench press. And I walked over to him. I was like, how much can your dad bench press? The kid socked me in the chest and says, my dad doesn't have any arms. And it was like a racket that the kids would run with like new kids where like it would, and so then the kid would feel really bad. So this stuff instantaneously, this sparks this memory and it flies out of my mouth before I can control the valve. I go, how much can your dad bench press? And the guy looks at me like I am completely insane. And he goes, what? And I go, you don't remember that? And that sounds even weirder. So then I was like, it's just my luck.
You don't remember something that happened in my life?
Right? No, because it's a thing, though, I think. So then I go, it's just my luck. I was like, I'm going to say something like that, and the guy's going to be I'm going to bum the guy out. And he goes, no, don't worry about it. Dude is a tough kid. We fuck with him all the time. And in my head, I go, wow, you fuck with dude about being an orphan all the time? Moreover, then it dawns on me, why are you calling him an orphan? He's older than I am. The dude's like 33 years old. And that is the question. Is dude was ostensibly an orphan, which means that an orphan would mean that he was never adopted, meaning that he grew up within the system of being an orphan and never had parents, quote unquote. Are you always an orphan, or are you not an orphan once you become 18 and you're no longer a ward of the state or whatever? And then I was like, then it poses like, are you always a bastard? I mean, you're always a bastard, but are you at what? So that's the story of my life at the store. And of course, I'm going to call your folks really quick. Dude is an orphan. I hadn't heard the word orphan in so long. I didn't even know what he was talking about. But are you always an orphan?
Yes.
Don't you say you don't say I'm an orphan. You say I was an orphan, right?
No.
No?
Because those scars run deep.
And then and thank God I didn't say anything.
Oh, I wish you did.
I looked at the guy and all I wanted to say was just to make, because I was already in so deep, I almost just wanted to say I thought they only threw girls away. Was almost the other thing that I said, but I couldn't. But then I just was like, all right, that's enough. Like, because that was like, that would have just sent me into like an echelon of just like, I can't stop eating shit. Like, but I didn't. So then I get out of my car. I get out of the back of the store. I feel terrible. I'm like dead embarrassed. I get into my car.
If you feel bad, it's okay then. That's all right then. As long as you feel bad.
So then I get out of the car. I get into my car and I leave the back parking lot and I pull around the front and he's outside. The agent is smoking a cigarette, leaning up against the bench, and he sees me, and I look at him, and I smile, and I wave, and I just got nothing from him. Nothing from him.
You just rolled by on your new phone, you're like, hey, I'll meet you for lunch, Dad! And like looked at him.
So, that's that. So, I guess, should I just apologize now?
We're gonna have the best time at our family birthday party this weekend at the lake.
Dad and Mom,
and sis and bro, and extended cousins. Oh, Grandpa's coming? Later, guy.
So bad.
Oh,
so there you have it.
There it is.